What's up, class? This is the next lecture in our online lecture series for geometry. This lecture will go over quadrilateral proofs. If you guys had any questions up to this point, feel free to reach out. Let's go ahead and get started. A quadrilateral is a four-sided shape. This would be a given example. All the angles in a quadrilateral, if we were to take the sum, it would total to 360 degrees. These two conditions will always be met for any given quadrilateral. Let's take a look at a few examples. A square is a quadrilateral where all angles are 90 degrees and all sides are equal. We would denote equality by slashes, and we would denote 90 degrees by the 90-degree symbol. A rectangle, and all angles again are 90 degrees. This time, opposite sides are equal. And so I'll denote my 90 degrees and opposite sides are equal. For a rhombus, all sides are equal and then opposite sides are parallel. So in this case, all my sides are equal and opposite sides are parallel. We denote parallelism by these pointers. Parallelogram is a case where opposite sides are parallel and equal. And so we'll denote our equality and our parallelism. A trapezoid is where two sides are parallel. So in this case, I have that. Let's go ahead and take a look at some matching exercises. So if I take a look at the figure to the top left, I have a side that corresponds to another side, and then I have opposite facing angles that are equal to each other. So in this case, this figure denotes as a parallelogram. I can also see that if this side here is 8, then x must be 8. And so this would match to my parallelogram. Next, I have a figure where my opposite sides are equal, and it looks like the same sided angles must be equal as well. So if that's the case, this x must be equal to 74 degrees. This matches to a trapezoid. Last but not least, I have a figure where all four of my angles are 90 degrees, and it looks like my opposite sides are in fact equal. So if that is the case, if this is 13.6, then this must be equal to 13.6, which should mean this is in fact a rectangle. Let's go ahead and take a look at a practice problem. So find the missing angle of x. Right? This is denoting a parallelogram because this symbol notation here means parallel. So it seems to be the case that we have opposite sides are parallel, and so that must mean that my opposite angles are equivalent. So if this is 135, then x should also equal 135 degrees. All right, a new problem where it looks like I have a parallelogram with two triangles within them. Or you can think about it as a parallelogram with perhaps even a bisector. So if I have this angle is 60 degrees, based upon the laws of a parallelogram, I would note that this angle up here also has to be 60 degrees. And if that is 60 degrees, all angles in a triangle add up to 180 degrees. So if that's the case, I can add 60 plus 52 gives me 112. And I can do 180 minus 112. And so this angle over here must be 68 degrees. Right? If that's 68 degrees, then I can see that these two, if you had seen my lecture on angle congruency, these two angles right here form alternate interior angles. And so they are equal. So x is equal to 68 degrees. Last but not least, I have a figure that appears to be a trapezoid, and I am in search for x and the angle y. So what I can do is I can, based upon the rules of a trapezoid, right, I have two sides that are parallel, and my opposite angles are the same. So if this is 6x minus 22, then that means this must be 6x minus 22 degrees. And if this is 8x plus 34, then this up here should also be 8x plus 34. And so what we can do is that we can add all four of these together to give us 360. Because two of our angles are matching, then I can denote that as 2 times a given angle, because that would give me two of the same thing. So I'm going to have 2 times 8x plus 34 plus 2 times 6x minus 22, and that is equal to 360 degrees. From here, I'm going to simply use the distributive property to distribute within my given term in the parentheses. So 2 times 8 is 16, right, plus 34 times 2, that is in fact 68, plus 2 times 6 is 12x minus 44 equals 360 degrees. 68 minus 44, 8 minus 4 is 4, 6 minus 4 is 2. So 16x plus 12x plus 24 equals 360 degrees. 16 plus 12 is 28x plus 24 equals 360 degrees. I'm going to subtract 24 from both sides. Cancels. Now I have 28x equals 336. And so from here, all I can do is divide my 336 from 28. And that should give me 12. So now that I have what x is, I see that 8x plus 34 is the same thing as y. If those are equal to each other, then 8x plus 34 equals y. I'm going to plug in this 12 back in for x. And so this will come out to 8 times 12 plus 34 equals y. 8 times 12 is 96. 96 plus 34 is y. And then 96 plus 34 is 130, which equals y. So, if you guys had any questions on this material, feel free to reach out to me. I will be glad to answer any of the questions you may have. Hope you guys have a good one.